Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ryan. I run this 3D printing business from my home in New Jersey. I've got a pretty typical video for you guys today. Just going to be loading up the printers, getting some products done, some updates, and also talking about some changes that Etsy has made recently regarding 3D printing models, and selling your 3D prints on the Etsy platform. So let's get these loaded up and we'll dive right in. All right, all the printers are kicked off. I got the Centauri doing some mallet clips. I got this one doing a snare drum coaster holder, and then this one doing the snare drum coasters themselves. I just took off some more of the shotgun shell lighter sleeves that I'm going to be sending to Amazon. There's about 40 of them here, so I'm going to get them boxed up with some of the packaging I just got. And then here's some more mallet clips we just took off the Centauri carbon. All right, printers are off and running, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So if you follow along with the 3D printing industry and other 3D printing content creators, you might have seen videos over the last 2 or 3 days regarding a change in policy that Etsy has implemented or plans to implement that will widely affect 3D printing shop owners, people that sell 3D printed products on Etsy and that platform. Back in 2024, Etsy put into effect a policy where anything sold on Etsy or on that platform had to fall under one of 4 options. Those options were made by seller, designed by seller, hand-picked by seller, or sourced by seller. So those were the 4 options. They were pretty loose with it, and you had to fall under one of those 4 options. Up until May 29th of 2025, so just about 2 weeks ago, made by seller included computerized tools with designs or patterns, such as 3D printing, laser printers, CNC, Cricut machines. So the change over the last week or so comes from a line that was added under that computerized tools for items produced with computerized tools. And that reads now as physical items that a seller produced in their personal shop or home using computerized tools such as a laser printer, 3D printer, CNC, or Cricut machine. Now, this is where the line changes. These items must be produced based on a seller's original design and are often personalized or customized to a buyer's specification. So again, these items must be produced based on a seller's original design. That's the change. So what that means is that if you are not the original designer of a product, Etsy is going to apparently find a way to crack down and get rid of them. So anybody that is currently partaking in Patreons where you get a commercial license from a designer to sell their products, you will end up getting hurt from this. This will be something, if Etsy chooses to enforce it, however they do choose to enforce it, this will probably cause a stop to that. On one side, I think that this is great because there's a lot of redundant, articulated flexi dragon stuff on Etsy. But then on the other side of it, myself, I print a lot of stuff of free files that I find online. I guess this would no longer be eligible. All my models, like the range lock, the snare drum holder, those things would be fine because those are my original designs. But anything else, if Etsy decides to crack down on it, will no longer be able to be sold. The big question for me and other content creators is, how is Etsy going to choose to enforce this on their platform moving forward? Is there going to be just a clean sweep of redundant designs? Will there be a submit and review type of function moving forward? I'm curious to see how they decide to do this, because if they do it the right way, I think it could be really, really good for their platform and the righteous 3D printing creators that are on the platform. I've been watching a lot of videos and talking to a lot of other content creators regarding the change and just trying to see what I think of it and what it could turn into. I'm a little indifferent at this point. I think it could be a really good thing or it could be a really bad thing depending on how Etsy goes about it. At the end of the day, I think Etsy is a platform people forget about as a lot of handmade and personalized items. And I feel like it might have lost a little bit of that with the success and the options for 3D printing over the last year or so. My thought process is I really like using Etsy lately for my new products that I design myself. My range lock has done really well on Etsy because it's pretty unique, but also the ad functions and the ad ability that I can use on Etsy for new products just provides that reach to get products out there. And I really, really like it. So I think that's what I'm going to use Etsy mainly for, is testing new products, using it as a marketplace for low risk, high reward if they do well. And then for those products that do well on Etsy, I'm going to be transitioning more to Amazon. So that's a lot of what I'm doing for the shotgun shell lighter holders and all the other stuff that I've been sending to Amazon. Really try to up the density of stuff that I'm sending. Keeps the printers busy, keeps stock flowing, and it keeps the sales up. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this change. Are you affected by it? What do you think you're going to do to change and combat it? And what do you think will be the difference maker in the next couple of months? What will happen to Etsy? I want to know what you guys think. And I'm excited. I think it could be a really good thing. Like I said, could be a really bad thing. We'll see. All right, now that we covered the whole Etsy policy change, I want to get going into the rest of the video. I have footage from yesterday of me packing up my completely new Amazon order of range locks. So I'm going to take you through that process right now of getting them all off the printer, packaging them up, and getting them sent over to Amazon. All right, checking in next morning. Have 11 range locks done. Every printer is basically running them right now on a lopsided kind of offset schedule. These two middle ones are finishing in about 2.5 hours. These ones on the outer edge are, I think they'll be done around 6 p.m. tonight. They've only been going for about 2 hours. I kicked them off when they finished. Centauri's doing great, but they're coming along great. I resorted to just having all 4 of these running and doing them just to reduce the time so I can get them shipped out faster, and also just, why not? You know what I mean? I had them. I finished printing the other products I had to get shipped out, so they were available. Also, I brought the Creality Ender 3 V3 KE back. I didn't think, if I had the rack space, I didn't think putting the filament dryers on the rack was smart if I could put them somewhere else. So I figured move the A1 Mini over, bring the Creality back. And honestly, I've been doing a lot of more of single color print stuff, and the Ender is perfect for that if I just need another build plate to print on. So let's put it back and we'll go from there. But now we've got 6 printers in this space. All right, these 2 finished up. None of them failed, so we have 12 great ones, bringing our total to 23. So, out into the box. All right, those are good. These still have about 7 hours left. Yeah, 7 hours and 8 hours. This spool's running a little low. I just threw this one on to pick up when that one runs out. This one was full when I put it on, so it should leave me with about, I want to say like 80 grams, maybe 75 grams left when this batch finishes up. So we should be good. All right, these only have 41 minutes left. The Centauri Carbon one's finished up, so I'm going to get these taken off the build plate. I also reprinted a new top mount for the AMS Lite for the A1 Mini. If you guys remember, the one I had was kind of like an angle. I found this one online. It's a little bit more central, so keeps the weight a little bit more square to the machine itself. But it also makes it a little bit easier to get to the filament, change the spools out, and overall just see what I've got going on. So I like this a lot. I've done some prints with it so far, and it's been working great. So really good improvement. Use the same amount of screws, and I use some PET G for, all it takes is literally this one bracket. And it screws in with 3 screws for the base, and then your typical 4 screws for the AMS Lite into the mount itself. All right, guys, thank you for following along with today's video. I'm interested to see and hear what you guys have to say about the Etsy policy change. So let me know down in the comments what you think about it, how you're affected, and what you think Etsy is going to become in the next few months. As always, I really appreciate the support. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you like content like this and you want to see more of it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.